Hey everyone, this is Bob Martin, the RC Sub Guy, and it is Thursday, July 11th, 2019. We are live on YouTube, theoretically. Hopefully, you guys are here taking a look at what we are going to be talking about. Um Welcome. Looking forward to your questions, looking forward to your comments. Got some big news to share with you. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get queued in there, a little bit more than 40 seconds. Just so you know, as you may or may not know, I am not at my shop. I am not at my home down in Naples, Florida. I am up in my old stomping grounds in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. So for those of you who don't know, I'm actually Canadian. I'm a Canuck. I was born and bred in Edmonton, Alberta, of all places. If you ever get the opportunity to visit, don't bother. It's not particularly exciting. Cold in the winter, hot in the summer, lots of mosquitoes. It took me 20 some odd years to realize there were better places to live. And so we moved to Victoria, British Columbia, which is absolutely gorgeous. I keep saying that I am fortunate in that I've lived in two of the most beautiful places to live in North America, and that's Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and Naples, Florida, two very different places. But I'm up visiting family right now, and I'm going to be here till around the end of the month. As you know, I got a post up on my website that shipments will be delayed until I get back. So broadcasting live from beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Let's show you what this looks like here. Wanda Fuca, absolutely gorgeous. We are very spoiled. I'm gonna put you guys back down here so I can focus on talking. So, yeah, some big news to share. Due to interesting set of circumstances, I find myself in a situation where I have parted ways with my previous employer. Still going to be doing some consultative work with them, which is kind of cool, and it could actually work out really good. But what this actually means is that I am going to have a lot more time to focus full time on RC submarines. So what that means for you guys is you are going to see a lot more products, a lot more videos, a lot more blogs, and vlogs, video logs. So look for this kind of stuff in the future. I'm going to focus on this pretty hard, and I'm going to be churning out a lot more builds. I'm going to have exponentially more time to focus on that. We will get this all documented for you so you can follow along. So it's going to make a big change, for me, and I'm excited about it. It's scary. I've got a sort of an entrepreneurial background. My family and I started a company years and years ago. We sold it to a big company, and that was the one that I was working for. But now I get to go back into that entrepreneurial mindset and start up company hardcore. And this is focusing for you guys on this hobby. So just wanted to let you know that's what's going on. So what that basically means, let's recap where we are at right now from a Nautilus dry docks perspective. Over the course of the last few years, we've seen numerous suppliers to the RC sub industry, particularly in North America, end up selling out. And this is specifically Caswell plating, precision pattern. And what that ended up happening is I actually bought out their product lines. I bought out their products, and I brought them all in-house. So the struggle that I had was that I had no time to work on that. But what that means now is that I do. So if we just kind of recap, and I'm going to be doing this off the top of my head, so I'm going to be forgetting about this. We've got the full line of Small World models products. We've already got the the 96 scale USS Blueback. We've got the 96 scale Russian Kilo. We have got the Russian Sierra. We've got the Japanese Oyashu that is going to be coming out. I have got the Precision Pattern 48th scale German Type 21. Super excited about that. That'll be one of the first products that come out. I've got the US Sturgeon class that is going to be coming out. I have also got recently acquired a 1/100 scale, which is close enough to 96 scale, US Los Angeles class kit. And that's going to be the very first one that I focus on when I get back at the end of the month, as an absolutely beautiful kit that I'm looking forward to kind of sinking my teeth into. So all of this production is going to be brought in-house. And what you're going to see is a bunch of videos outlining what the process is to create a kit. There's a lot of work that goes into bringing these kits to you guys. And when you see them, I mean, they feel like a lot of money. I know, because I was there. But man, oh man, there's a lot of work that goes into it. All of those hulls are laid up by hand in molds, extracted, cut, trimmed, matched up. All of the small parts are cast and boxed up, set out for you guys as complete kits. All of the instructions take, you know, dozens and dozens of hours to put together to make it easy for you guys to put the kits together. So hopefully you understand the amount of work that goes into each one of these kits, and what you're going to see is a bunch of videos that are going to be documenting these processes from beginning to end, so you can see what goes into them. So not only are you going to see some hull layup and casting videos, some hints and tricks about casting up your own parts, but way more build videos, and we're going to see a lot of those coming through here in the very near future. I've got an OTW Valiant that I'm going to be finishing up. I'm just RC prepping that for a customer. I'll be documenting that for you. I'm going to be finishing up that Type 21. Deadline, hard deadline, September. There is a big RC sub regatta that's going to be going on in Groton, Connecticut at the beginning of September. You can get all of the details on my forums at forum.rc-sub.com. That's in Groton, Connecticut, beginning of September. That Type 21 is going to have its debut maiden voyage out at that event. If you're interested, it is absolutely worth the trip. Question from Floyd there, are you going to document it? Oh, hell yeah, there's going to be full documentation of the trip up, because I'm going to be driving from Florida all the way up to Connecticut with my subs. There's going to be like 4 or 5 of them in there in the back of a rented vehicle. Drive it up there, run the boats, talk to the other people who are running boats, see what they've got there, talk to the vendors, and I'll be documenting all of that for you guys. So lots of exciting stuff coming on, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm going to jump back in here and see if there were some questions here. Is your store ready? I would love to have an RC sub. I live in Lakeland, Florida, a place with a lot of lakes. Store's been up for years and years. NautilusDryDocks.com. You can purchase, not only my kits, but kits from other vendors. All of the parts, components, electronics, radios, everything that you need to get your boat going. Something else that I am fully willing to admit, and that all of you know, if you're into this hobby at all, is that documentation and instructions for putting an RC submarine together are few and far between. I'm going to try and change that over the course of the next few months as I build out these RC submarine projects. These are going to be step-by-step instructions or documentation of my buildup of these RC submarines, so you can follow along and build your own RC submarine. Try and take all of the mystique out of this amazing hobby. Although I am not going to pull the wool over your eyes, this is a challenging hobby. It is not for everyone. you need to be proficient in basic skills in terms of fabrication, electronics, soldering, and that kind of thing. If you're not there yet, you're probably going to want to get one of the prefab kits, that are out there. If you could find it, the Thunder Tiger Neptune, few and far between, but it's a great RC submarine. It would be a great introduction to this hobby for you. Let's see here. Norman, you don't ever plan to own an RC submarine. What's wrong with you? This is the hobby for the elite, and even if you've just got access to a swimming pool, small pond or lake, it is really amazing to get that out there, and to have the satisfaction of operating it, to submerge it and have it come back up again. It's really hard to describe. Red Wolf RC, what's the event called? So this is it's an RC submarine regatta, Groton, Connecticut. Again, view my my forums at forum.rc-sub.com. That's where you need to go. Look under the events and regattas section. All of the details are out there. Now, bear in mind, this is on the base. So you're going to need to follow the instructions to register yourself, to get out there, to get on site. And then you'll be able to attend. Even if you don't have a boat, come on down, have a chance to network with people that do them. I would be more than happy to hand over the transmitter to any boats that I'm running if anybody wants to run a boat, except maybe that big Type 21, because it's not my boat, it's someone else's boat, technically speaking. You'll need to be out there and experience that. Question from Pertemba40. Do you know where to buy a Propel CAN gas valve adapter? From my website, nautilusdrydocks.com. Look under the component section. I sell those adapters in there. It's like $10 or $16, or it's between $10 and $20, something like that. I don't remember. But if you need one, we got them for you. Go ahead and grab them. The other thing that I'm going to mention is if you guys have a need for something that is hard to find, let me know and I'll try and add it to my store. I'll certainly hook you up in that regard. I will say, if you can get stuff from your local hobby RC store, I am not going to send you brass rod, brass tubing. I mean, that stuff is everywhere. I'm not going to put together an invoice for you for $3.99 for a 1/8 inch brass rod. Get it. You're going to have to get it yourself. But I'm going to help you, hook you up with all the hard to find stuff that pertains specifically to this hobby. And if I can't find it, I'll try and point you in the right direction. All right. Question from Steam Castle. Do you sell OTW drive shaft seals? Absolutely. I can hook you up with the machined parts, or if you're only looking for the seals themselves, those white O-ring seals, I can hook you up with those as well. Just pop me an email anytime at sales@nautilusdrydocks.com. That's the company website email address. Go ahead and shoot that out there. On my website, under the Contact Me section, I've got my email address, I got my phone number. In the past, I was working my day job, all day during the day. This is my job now. Call me, text me. I prefer texts and emails to phone calls, because I need to work for you guys, building boats, making videos, getting it out to you. So please, by all means, email or text message is probably best. Tons of you guys really love like Facebook for some weird reason, which is fine, and I've got that all hooked up, and I check those messages. Not my preferred methodology for communication, but by all means, reach out to me any way that you want. Just to summarize again, I'm in Victoria, British Columbia right now. I have no shop to show you cool things right now. I could show you an empty living room because everybody else is upstairs getting ready for dinner. I'm in Pacific time, here right now. With that being the case, not a lot to show you, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Now's your chance if you want to pop them up, talk about them in the chat section in there. But if things are dwindling down, I may cut this one a little bit short, give you a couple minutes, gather your thoughts. Let me know if you have a question. I'd be more than happy to talk about it right now. Just to summarize, when I get back, first order of business, clearing up all the orders that backed up over the course of time that I was gone. Then we are going to be working on the big Type 21. That's going to get finished up. But before I do that, I need to clear off my workbench, and that's that RC prep for the OTW Valiant. And that was installation of a subdriver unit in there. So you'll see how I installed it. And I will go over what that looks like in terms of the hull hold down and the hardware for putting that boat together. What it's not going to go into is trimming the boat out, all the cosmetics and all of that fun stuff. So look for that coming up. Hit the Type 21, get that thing knocked out. I've got a Submarine Works Ohio 96 scale. I did one recently. This is going to be another fast build, very similar to that one. Other projects I've got queued up. I've got a Scale Ships Akula that we're going to be knocking out with a Big Dave RCABS cylinder. So recirculating compressed air ballast system. Haven't really gone into that before because it's not as common a ballast system or a watertight cylinder system as a lot of the other ones, but you're going to be seeing how that works, and it's really, really cool. Big Dave Welsh was the gentleman that sort of pioneered that, or certainly brought it to market. So you'll see how that all works. And the Scale Ships Akula is just a gorgeous, gorgeous boat, and I put one together previously. You can search my stream on YouTube for the details about that one. So that'll be coming through. I've got a huge 1/50th scale Alpha, Russian Alpha, from International Ocean Research out of California. I believe Michael is the name of the gentleman that puts those kits together. That is a big boat. And I've got a kit review of that also on my channel under RCSubGuy if you want to search for that one coming up. Lots of cool projects, all queued up and ready to go. Let's see here. We got a few questions. Do you carry the Revell Gato sub and the conversion gear for it? I do have a small number of the Gato sub kits. I think I've got 3 of those in stock right now. If you're interested, more than happy to hook you up with those kits. I've got all of the gear for it backing up. Do not carry any longer the fittings kits, the RC fittings kits, which included the resin dive planes, the resin rudders, the saddles, all of that stuff. Those are not necessary for RC conversion. All of that stuff can be modified from the original kit or fabricated with plastic sheet to just make life a little bit easier. But I've got that starter kit on my website, nautilusdrydocks.com, under starter kits, Revell Gato. That'll be all the RC sub gear. If you're after the kit itself, let me know. Like I said, I got a limited number, 3 of those left. I can hook you up and make that happen for you. Question from Steam Castle. When you made that massive German Type 21 RC submarines, you 3D printed end caps for it. What type of filament did you use, and did you add some type of coat to it to make it more waterproof? So, talking about 3D printing, and I've talked about this before. For those of you that don't know, these 3D printers out there extrude plastic. They basically melt filament and extrude it out and create solid parts out of them. And there's really like a handful of standard plastics that are used. The most common is called PLA, and it's actually a derivative of corn oil. And the really cool thing is when you print with it, it smells like popcorn. Completely biodegradable. It's really cool. If you immerse that thing for like forever in water, you're going to see a degradation in the quality of that particular part. For the purposes of RC submarines, when you're only immersing that plastic part in water for half an hour at a time, and then it gets dry and it sits for a month, and you put it back in the water for half an hour. This is not an issue. I'm sick and tired of people saying that PLA plastic is no good in water. It's baloney. I call you out. It's perfectly fine. I do, however, concede the fact that there are other plastics that are probably better suited, and I typically will utilize ABS plastic for things like end caps, brackets, and that kind of thing for RC submarine application. They're much more durable, they're stronger, and they're much more or much less reactive in a water environment. No need to coat them, although certainly there's no issue with you doing so. So hopefully that answered your question there. Will the big Nautilus that is coming out in spring 2020 be resin or fiberglass? It's going to be a hybrid kit, so the main hull is fiberglass, and all of the detailed parts are going to be resin and very likely white metal. Looking for the event on your website. It's not on nautilusdrydocs.com, forum.rc-sub.com. These are the forums. So if you go to my website, nautilusdrydocs.com, it says something like looking for more, click here, jump to the forums, go to the events section. That is where you're going to find the information for the event. PVC plastic, Kevin's talking about that. Yeah, sure. If you want to buy PVC tubing from your local hardware store, obviously exceptionally good information to have there. Send link. Tell you what, you email me, bob@rc-sub.com or sales@nautilusdrydocs.com, and I will send you the link. I don't have your email address. I am not going to email you the address, but I will reply to your email inquiry. How does that sound? All right. Yeah, there were some great comments and questions in there. Last chance to queue up any questions that you have. And again, I apologize, not in the shop. Otherwise, I would have tons of cool things to show you. I will say I've got a couple really cool RC torpedo projects that are lined up, and I'm going to outline exactly what I did to do it. One of them, water jet propulsion. The second one is a revised and completely, how am I going to put this? More reliable version of a gas-propelled torpedo system. So super excited to get that. This is in conjunction with that Type 21 project. And I've experimented, as you know, with electric torpedoes on timers, with previous gas versions, and all of that kind of stuff. But these are going to be two different versions of an fully functional torpedo system in 30-second scale. Question from RC Jet Dude. Is anyone ever completely 3D printed an RC sub? Yes, absolutely. And actually, you know who did a really good job of this and who continues to do it, and I've got them on my website, is Otto out of the Czech Republic. He was previously printing those in PLA plastic, and as I told you, that's perfectly fine. Don't you dare anybody say that that's a problem. But he's switching to a different type of plastic. And it's a hybrid system, so it uses a PVC pipe for the main body of the submarine, and then 3D printed detail parts that go on the ends. Of course, all of the modern submarines are basically cigars. You've got a big cylinder in the middle, and then you've got a cap on the front and a cap on the back. So it's exceptionally well suited to that type of application. So if you're interested in seeing what that looks like, go on my website. Take a look at it. You can absolutely see he's got a Virginia class, he's got a Los Angeles class, he's got a Seehund class. There's a German type, oh gosh, is it 204, 206? I get really confused about all the numbers. Yeah, check it out. It's in there. Question from Mustang Bob. Hey, that's a good name, dude. How's your health? Hey, I'm doing great. For those of you that didn't know, I went through a bit of a scare in early this year in January, I was diagnosed with adenocarcinoma of the appendix. It's cancer of the appendix, ultra super rare form of cancer. It's like more rare than breast cancer in men, apparently. They carved it all out of me. So I sacrificed a large portion of my innards to this particular disease, but the doctors are exceptionally convinced that they cut all of it from me. I go back in September to Houston, Texas, to the MD Anderson Clinic to get a follow-up. But as of right now, I am under the assumption, as they are, that I am completely cancer-free. Feeling great. Of course, back to working out for a long time now. Thank you for asking. That was awesome. Question from Pertemba40. Can you build me an ARC model type 7C? Let's talk. Shoot me an email, bob@rc-sub.com. Let's start opening up that dialogue. I have got the time, although, as I said, I've probably got like 6 projects lined up. We're talking about next year already that we would be talking about giving you your boat. But we'll see how the velocity ends up happening once I get a rhythm in the shop. Just so that you guys know, that ARC model Type 7, I love it. I would not ever buy the Chinese watertight cylinders that they typically sell with it, but that hull kit, super well engineered, very durable, builds into a beautiful boat. I definitely recommend it. I sell not only the kits, but starter kits with all of the RC gear if you wanted to attempt converting those yourself. Question from Design Tech 76. Hi from the UK. Hey, how are you doing? Is there a rule of thumb for measuring how big a ballast tank should be? Yes. So, ballasting is, like 90% science and 10% art. The thing that you've got to realize, the only purpose behind a ballast tank is to be able to displace enough water so that you can bring anything that needs to be above the surface. All right. So with that being said, what you want to do in an ideal world is weigh anything that is above the surfaced water line of your submarine, calculate the appropriate volume of water that equals that weight, and then create a ballast tank of that volume plus 10% or so for fudge factor. So what that will basically allow you to create is a ballast tank that will successfully displace that amount of water to the point where you'll be able to emerge that above the water line, as well as a safety factor of around 10% to make sure that you've got that flexibility. A couple of notes about that ballast tank placement. If you've got too big of a ballast tank, what you're going to end up doing is either floating the boat at too high of a surface water line, or you're going to end up having to move too much water in and out. And if your ballast tank is too big, because typically they're cylindrical, right? As your boat dives, pretend it's in between my fingers here. As it dives, all of that water is going to slosh forward, right? And that's going to move your center of buoyancy, and it's going to get more nose heavy, and you're going to end up diving straight into the bottom. So you want to get away with as short and fat a ballast tank as possible in your RC submarine. So just bear that in mind. If you can do it, short, fat, of the appropriate ballast tank volume. That's exactly what you are going for. So hopefully that answered your question. You need to just think about weight above surface water line. That's the key for ballast tank displacement. Question from Red Wolf, about 48th scale torpedoes. That'll come after 32nd scale. I don't know if the water jet technology is going to work very well for that, and I'll go into it when I create those videos so you can actually see it. But certainly the gas ones will. Absolutely, 48 scale is very doable, and I definitely want to get into as small as 72nd scale because we've got a lot of boats out there, the Revell of Germany kits specifically, where 72nd scale weapons would be exceptionally desirable. So let's just say yes. Very doable. We are going to get and those would be gas powered in all likelihood. We are at 31 minutes of this live broadcast. I'm going to give you guys like one more minute to come up with any other questions that you have, and then I am going to sign off until next time. But when I get back home, you're going to be inundated with notifications of new videos. So hopefully you enjoy it. And if there's anything that you want specifically more information about that you think lots of people would be interested in, just shoot me an email, bob@rc-sub.com, or to the sales@nautilusdrydocks.com email address, and I will queue it up. I am going to have lots of time to dedicate to you guys. I think this is going to be a game changer. I'm pretty excited about this. And when I come out with a bunch of new products, I really want to come out with a great entry level submarine that isn't going to break the bank. Just for the components right now, you're over $1,000 to $1,200, and that is a big bite for a lot of people. Pretty painful. We're going to see what we can do about that to the best of our ability, make it a little bit more palatable to get into this amazing hobby. So with that, I think I am going to sign off. For those of you just joining in or randomly joining this live broadcast, my name is Bob Martin. I am the RCSubGuy with the NautilusDryDocks.com. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate your support. Looking forward to it in the future. We will catch you guys next time. Thanks a lot.